It's intensely contemplative. It is almost hypnotic. It's like putting your hand on the third rail of the universe. If you play Go, seriously, there is a chance that you will get exposed to this experience that is kind of like nothing else on the planet. Go is putting you in a place where you're always at the very farthest reaches of your capacity. There's a reason that people have been playing Go for thousands and thousands of years, right? It's not just that they want to understand Go, they want to understand what understanding is. And maybe that is truly what it means to be human.
When I was a kid, I loved playing games. I started off with board games like chess, and then I bought my first computer when I was 8 with winnings from a chess tournament. Ever since then, I felt that computers were this sort of magical device that could extend the power of your mind. Virtual environments in games. We think they're the perfect platform for developing and testing AI algorithms. Games are very convenient in that a lot of them have scores, so it's very easy to measure incremental progress. So I'm going to show you a few videos of the agent system, the AI. So let's start off with Breakout. So here you control the bat and ball, and you're trying to break through this rainbow-colored wall. The agent system has to learn everything for itself, just from the raw pixels. It doesn't know what it's controlling. It doesn't even know what the object of the game is. Now, at the beginning, after 100 games, you can see the agent is not very good. It's missing the ball most of the time, but it's starting to get the hang of the idea that the bat should go towards the ball. Now, after 300 games, it's about as good as any human can play this, and pretty much gets the ball back every time. We thought, well, that's pretty cool, but we left the system playing for another 200 games. And it did this amazing thing. It found the optimal strategy was to dig a tunnel around the side and put the ball around the back of the wall. The researchers working on this are amazing AI developers, but they're not so good at Breakout. And they didn't know about that strategy, so they learned something from their own system, which is pretty funny and quite instructive, I think, about the potential for general AI. So for us, what's the next step now? Go is the most complex game pretty much ever devised by man. Beating a professional player at Go is a long-standing grand challenge of AI research.
Waouh! Tu veux vraiment me tuer, hein?
Non, je tiens pas, mais je voudrais bien survivre à ça.
Ah ouais, c'est ça, ouais, c'est ça.
I'm Go professional player. I'm also European champion.
Ah là, t'auras jamais mourir en fait. C'est juste qu'une fois que tu m'as tué, t'es tellement content et que t'es paniqué. Tu as peur que la victoire s'échappe. Alors en général, quand on a peur de ça, la victoire s'échappe toujours.
I'm born in China. When I was 18, I want to change my life. This is why I go to French. I want to try to forget the Go. But it's impossible. Because all the things I learned in my life is with Go. It looks like a mirror. I see the Go, I also see myself. For me, Go is a real life.
Dear Mr. Pham, my name is Demis Hassabis. I run an artificial intelligence company based in London called DeepMind. As the strongest Go player in Europe, we would like to invite you to our offices in London, both to meet you in person and to share with you an exciting Go project that we are working on. If you would be interested in coming to visit us, please let us know. Many thanks. Kind regards, Demis.
When I see this email, I don't know if it's true or not. I will accept about this. Why not? For me, everything is an adventure. I want to go to visit DeepMind to know what is this Go project. The first visit, I think maybe I want me sit in the special room, push many wire in my hand, and also my body, let me play to scan my brain. I don't know, to make some research.
We needed to get found way to DeepMind to see we were a serious operation and we were serious people doing proper research.
And the search time is getting better and better. Like as we go from, for example, 1 to 8 in any one of these, it always goes up.
We think of DeepMind as kind of like an Apollo program effort for AI. Our mission is to fundamentally understand intelligence and recreate it artificially. And then once we've done that, we feel that we can use that technology to help society solve all sorts of other problems.
If we step through the actual game, we can see kind of what AlphaGo thinks, what's the most likely variation that it thinks will happen.
We've been working on AlphaGo, our program to play Go, for just under 2 years now.
All the little patterns cascade together, layer after layer after layer after layer. I started talking about the game of Go with Demis more than 20 years ago, and so this has been a really long journey. The game of Go is the holy grail of artificial intelligence. For many years, people have looked at this game and they've thought, wow, this is just too hard. Everything we've ever tried in AI, it just falls over when you try the game of Go. And so that's why it feels like a real litmus test of progress. If we can crack Go, we know we've done something special.
So with Fan Hui, we started talking around what the real purpose of the visit was. It wasn't just a Go project we wanted him to help with, that actually we wanted to play him, and we had a very strong program.
Oh, it's okay, just the program is so easy. So it will be easy to play.
A lot of people have thought that it was decades away. Some people thought it would be never, because they felt that to succeed at Go, you needed human intuition.
Go is the world's oldest continuously played board game. And in some sense, it is one of the simplest and also most abstract.
There's only one type of piece, there's only one type of move, you just place that piece on the board. And then your goal is to create a linked group of your stones that surrounds some empty territory. And when you surround enemy stones, you capture them and remove them from the board. You earn points by surrounding territory, and at the end of the game, the person with the most territory wins. It seems really simple, but then you sit down to play and you realize right away, it's like, well, I technically know what I'm allowed to do, but I have no clue what I should do.
Go is incredibly challenging for computers to tackle because compared to, say, chess, the number of possible moves in a position is much larger. In chess, it's about 20. In Go, it's about 200. And the number of possible configurations of the board is more than the number of atoms in the universe. So even if you took all the computers in the world and ran them for 1 million years, that wouldn't be enough compute power to calculate all the possible variations. If you ask a great Go player why they played a particular move, sometimes they'll just tell you it felt right. So we have to come up with some kind of clever algorithm to mimic what people do with their intuition.
Nice to meet you.
Hello, nice to meet you too.
So with Fan Hui, we agreed a best of 5 match, and we agreed it would be filmed. You know, we would treat it as a serious match.
I play with AlphaGo. Ajia Huang pushed the stone for AlphaGo. And of course, I think I will win the game with AlphaGo because it's just a program. The first game, I make some mistake and I lose the game.
In that first match, I think something clicked for him that this wasn't an ordinary Go program. We weren't just doing the same as everyone else, that something new was happening.
The second game, I try to change my style. But the problem is also I lose the second game. And also for third game, the fourth game, even the last game. I lose 5-0. AlphaGo win all the game.
After losing, you can feel his pressure is getting heavier and heavier. And several times after the game, he said he wanted to go out for fresh air. I said, oh, I can go with you and have a chat. He said, no, I want to go myself.
I feel something very strange. I lose this program. And I don't understand myself anymore.
I worried whether he'd even come back. You know, he seemed very low, and he spent about an hour away from the office. He came back completely changed.
I told Maddie, this is the first time in the history the human professional Go player lose with the program. She tell me, yes, we know. But for you, I okay? I told her, not and yes. I'm not happy to lose the game, but will be happy for play in the history.
Artificial intelligence researchers has solved the game of Go a decade earlier than expected. The computer, named AlphaGo, was able to beat the European human champion.
Artificial intelligence researchers have made a significant breakthrough.
It really is a big leap forward. There's a big difference between the way the IBM computer beat Kasparov, which was programmed by expert chess players, and the way the Go playing computer more or less learned itself.
The way we start off training AlphaGo is by showing it 100,000 games that strong amateurs have played that we've downloaded from the internet. And we first initially get AlphaGo to mimic the human player. And then through self-play and reinforcement learning, it plays against different versions of itself many millions of times and learns from its errors.
The specific ideas that are driving AlphaGo are going to drive our future. The technology's at the heart of AlphaGo. They're what are called deep neural networks, which essentially mimic the web of neurons in the human brain. It's a very old idea, but recently, due to increases in computing power, these neural networks have become extremely powerful, almost overnight.
Big neural networks that operate on big data can achieve surprising things. AlphaGo found a way to learn how to play Go. Learning is the key thing here. It's machine learning.
The whole beauty of these types of algorithms is that because they're learning for themselves, they can go beyond what we as the programmers know how to do and allow us to make new breakthroughs in areas of science and medicine. So AlphaGo is one significant step towards that ultimate goal.
My wife called me. She told me, don't see internet, don't connect internet, because people talk terrible things about you match with AlphaGo. Fan Hui is living so long time in Europe, he's not real professional, he's just an amateur player. This is so hard for me, so hard.
The Go world were skeptical about how strong really was AlphaGo and how much further did it need to get to beat the top professionals. So our program is improving over time, and we want to push the AI algorithm to the limit and see how far this kind of self-improving process can go. So we needed to look for an even greater challenge.
A match like no other is about to get underway in South Korea.
Lee Si-dol, the long-reigning global
This guy is a genius.
Will take on artificial intelligence program AlphaGo in the ultimate human versus machine smackdown.
This is a huge moment for both the world of artificial intelligence and I think the world of Go. So far, AlphaGo has beaten every challenge we've given it, but we won't know its true strength until we play somebody who is at the top of the world, like Lee Si-dol. We chose Lee Si-dol because we wanted a legendary historic player, somebody who has been acknowledged as the greatest player of the last decade.
방심은 하지 않겠습니다만 그래도 아직까진 그래도 제가 조금 부가 있지 않을까 생각하고요.
I will not be too arrogant, but I don't think that it will be a very close match. The level of the player that AlphaGo went against in October is not the same level as me, so given that a couple of months was only passed, I don't think that it is enough for it to be able to catch up with me. My hope is that it will be either 5-0 for me or maybe 4-1. So the critical point for me is to make sure I do not lose one.
하이파이브를 할 건데 이렇게.
We don't know how well our system will play against someone as creative as Lee Sedol. Also, he's very famous for very creative fighting play. So this could be difficult for us, but we'll see. Maybe in some ways he's the most difficult opponent we can pick.
There was still so much of a question about whether or not they could beat someone like Lee Sedol. Fan Wei is a good player, but he's nothing like the very top players.
Lee Sedol is a 9-dan professional. 9-dan professional is the highest rank that you can achieve in Go. The ranking system. Fan Wei, who's the European champion, is just a 2-dan professional. On the other hand, at the very top, Lee Sedol is 9-dan professional. Lee Sedol is to Go what Roger Federer is to tennis. He's playing in Wimbledon to win the Grand Slam. And it's not just this year. He'll be there next year, and the year after that, and the year after that.
Of course, in internet and all the Go community, everyone, maybe not 100%, maybe 99.999% think Lee Sedol will win very easily.
옳지, 돌 예쁘게 잡고. 그렇게 돌을 예쁘게 이렇게 하지 말고 이렇게 잡지 말고 돌을 이렇게 예쁘게 잡아.
Go is taken seriously in Korea. It's so much part of the culture, like breathing or, like taking swimming lessons or something.
On the surface, it's a game, but inside had a very deep philosophy. Go board reflects the individual who's playing. The truth gonna show itself on the board. You won't be able to hide it.
In ancient China, Japan, Korea, Go is one of the 4 noble things, like 4 accomplishments for literati, with music, poetry, and painting. So people think the Go players are very smart and very noble.
자, 졌어도 괜찮아. 열심히 둬야 돼요. 자세 바르게 하고 옳지. 차렷. 서로 인사.
Master Kwon started this school so that he could produce great player in Korea. Lee Sedol, when he was age of 8, he came in here, attending class 9 a.m. till 9 p.m., 7 days, and then he stayed with the Master Kwon.
얼굴이 아주 헝그랗고 눈동자가 너무 까맣고 특히 섬에서 온 소년이라 그런지 좀 특이하게 생겼어요. 그러나 눈빛이나 이런 것은 보통 일반 애들하고는 다르게 눈빛에서는 아주 빛이 났죠.
Lee Sedol was a little boy that I remember when I was a student studying Go. He was very young and rural enough to think that pizza grew on trees.
사실 어렸을 때는 1-2살 위에 형들을 이기는 재미에 사실 시작을 했고요. 그 이후로는 하나의 창작품을 만든다. 제가 두는 것은 좀 다른 바둑, 좀 색다른 바둑. 자기만의 무서운 무언가? 남들이 생각하지 못했던 무언가?
Lee Sedol plays things that are interesting, where you felt like he's beyond winning and losing. He wants to do something that's innovative or takes things to the next level.
So every Go player study his game for sure.
Roughly 10 years, he dominates the professional Go world. He wins 18 world championships.
100년에 한 번 나올까 말까 그런 천재인데 지금 생각해도 이세돌 군을 위해서 참 잘했다. 제 스스로 혼자 만족해하면서 살죠.
Definitely Lee Sedol is gonna win the game 5-all. Yeah, all game. He's gonna win all game.
We had our evaluation match last week. We won a game and we lost a game, and we lost a game in a way that would have made us look extremely foolish if that happened publicly. It means that we still have work to do, and we need to take this really seriously. It's just too much risk that actually we could lose overall. Not only that, but we could lose in a way that makes us look rather silly. Yeah. So I guess, yeah, Ajay, did you want to say anything about what you're trying?
I'm working hard.
So we're working around the clock at the moment, training our algorithms further, trying to incrementally keep on improving right up to the moment where we have the match.
We've collected together people with different skill sets onto the same team. So we have researchers, engineers, valuation guys. But you mean what happens if it creates something new which wasn't in heavy mode? Yeah. Then we don't see it. Okay. The first thing to know is just is it helping?
Perfect solution, so it's not perfect.
Yeah. Adja is the lead programmer and built the original search engine.
So Adja's responsibility is quite a big one. He will be the one sitting opposite Disutradarai and actually playing the moves AlphaGo makes.
I'm feeling excited. Yeah. Disutradarai is a great player, and I feel honored to play with him. Many of my friends, they are very excited about the match. They keep telling me that the whole world is watching. Just prepare AlphaGo.
Hello, Dennis, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you guys. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, perfect. I was curious to meet you, such an amazing developer who made AlphaGo. It's very nice to meet you.
Thank you. It's likewise. It's a real pleasure to meet you. I love the game of Go. I'm not very good, but I don't know if you know, but we actually have something in common. I actually also trained at a game at a young age. I used to be, when I was young, professional chess player.
예전에 체스의 프로 선수였대요.
I used to play for the England team, and then I stopped playing when I was about 14. When I was 13, I was the second highest rated player in the world.
After the match, I would like to propose that I give you one teaching game of Go and you give me one teaching game of chess. How does that sound?
That sounds very good. I would be very honored to do that.
I'm not sure if it's okay to ask you this question, but I saw the games against Fan Hui and then I didn't think it was quite at the level to play with me. But I heard that it's getting really stronger. Can I ask how much it got stronger since then?
I can't say too much, of course, but it's definitely got significantly stronger.
Well, with more time, I think a logical approach would be to follow up on Adja's local search, run that in fast AlphaGo, generate a whole new data set and iterate for more time. But we're just out of time for that, so we have to be realistic.
We realised that if we wanted to prepare for a mammoth task like taking on Disutradarai, there would be nothing better than talking to a professional, and we couldn't have picked a better person than Fan Hui.
We invite him as an advisor because during the match, we found he is a man of good spirit.
Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
It's very precious that we have Fan Hui with us. He was crushed by AlphaGo, but then he became very positive and a big help to us.
When Demis tell me, can you come back to help us make AlphaGo more stronger? I feel this respect. Of course, I accept about this. I play with AlphaGo to understand where is the strong point about AlphaGo and where is maybe the weakness. I play in the morning, afternoon, all the time. And I found something. I found big weakness about AlphaGo. The big one.
The superheroes always have a hidden vulnerability, right? And the same is true of AlphaGo. It's unbelievably superhuman in general, but it has some particular weaknesses in some situations.
We can think of there being this space of all the things it knows about, and it knows about most of it extremely well, but then there'll be these tricky lumps of knowledge that it just understands very poorly. And it's really hard for us to characterize when it's going to enter into one of these lumps. But if it does, it can be completely delusional, thinking that it's alive on one part of the board when in fact it's dead, or vice versa. So there is a real risk that we could lose the match.
Everybody in the team try to work more and more to fix the problem, but I think it's difficult to fix this very quickly.
We've got version 18 in the pipeline, haven't we?
Well, we'll only go for version 18 if it makes a significant improvement, which we're having to rerun all the tests because they went wrong, unfortunately. So we're sort of basically a day behind on our evaluation because of that, all the confidence. Well, maybe we just need to be realistic that we've tried a bunch of things and we've come to the point where we said we would actually start freezing the code and saying, look, it's not then actually not panning out. These delusions are still a realistic possibility for the match.
We have some weaknesses that I don't think we're going to fix fully before the match. So that's causing us a little bit of anxiety.
Lee Sedol is getting ready to rumble. On Wednesday, live across the internet, this professional South Korean Go player will take on artificial intelligence program AlphaGo.
스코어상으로는 아까 말씀드렸듯이 자신 있고 5대0으로 꼭 할 수 있도록 할 것이고요.
Tomorrow, Julian and George, they pack up version 18, they stick it on a laptop, and they fly out to Seoul.
See you all in Korea.
See you.
Everything is all set for the victory against Italy?
Everything is set, I think, but when I get to the hotel, I'm going to catch up with the team.
What we should do in the time remaining is list things that could go wrong in the solidity of the system.
We need somewhere to put AlphaGo under here.
Right, rehearsal, let's go please, folks.
Have you arranged the race for Lisa to smoke? In a difficult situation, he likes to smoke.
Yes, there is a terrace, and we'll have security, so he'll be able to go up there and be by himself.
我这个位置也比较尴尬，不是你看我穿的衣服，我这个。
明白。
我是这次裁判。
When I got here, I didn't expect the attention on the match. It was literally front page news. About 8 million Koreans play the game of Go, and even those who don't, recognize Lee Sedol. He's a national figure. And so there's that, right? There's some national pride involved, but it's more than that. Just the very thought of a machine playing a human at something like this, I think, is inherently intriguing to people.
We could bring him in?
Yes, go ahead.
여전히 자신감은 있는 상태고요. 아무래도 역시 아직은 인간의 직관력이나 이런 감각들을 컴퓨터인 인공지능이 따라오기에는 약간 무리가 있지 않나 이렇게 생각을 해서 제가 꼭 인간의 그런 걸 지켜낼 수 있도록 최선을 다하겠습니다.
All the world gave the pressure to Lee Sedol. Before this, he played the tournament for country, for himself. But this time, he played for the human.
I just really hope we win this first game. If you lose the first game, you literally have to win 3 out of 4.
Yeah, it's hard.
Which is hard work. Yeah.
Where are you going to be?
I'll start in the match room, and then I'm going to come in here, make sure everything's
Yeah, you should probably be in here.
I know you're nervous.
Yeah, I'm nervous. I'm nervous. How are you? You're not nervous?
A bit.
A little bit, yeah? That's good to have a little bit of nerves. Should be fine. Be fine.
Hello and welcome to the DeepMind Challenge Game 1, Round 1, live from the Four Seasons here in Seoul, Korea. I'm Chris Garlock of the American Go e-Journal. I'm here with Michael Redmond, 9-Dan professional. Welcome, Michael. I want to give a shout out to all of the folks watching around the world. Well, the excitement's pretty palpable here in the hotel. I've never seen a crush of interest to reporters from around the world.
It's overwhelming.
그동안 알파고라고 한다면 화점을 즐겨두어 왔었는데 글쎄요, 5개월 동안 달라졌을까요?
All right, folks, you're here. You're going to see history made. Stay with us. 5 minutes, guys. 5 minutes.
I just thought we should take a moment together and just think about what's about to happen. Extremely excited to be there, extremely proud of every one of you and what we've done. And win or loss, I think it's just amazing that we're here.
아빠 기계가 하고 싸우니까 좀 이상하지 않아요?
아직은 기계가 사람을 바둑에서 이기진 않았으면 좋겠네.
들어가며 점은 7시 반입니다. 제한 시간은 각자 2시간에 60초 3회입니다.
도를 가려주시기 바랍니다. 이세돌보다 도 선택하셨습니다. 대국을 시작해 주시기 바랍니다.
We had worked so hard to make sure that this would go technically smoothly. We'd tested it and tested it and tested it, and still there comes that moment when you're live, all the TV cameras are broadcasting everything, and now it has to do the thing you built it to do.
아, 근데 여기서 알파고가 쳤을부터 지금 고민을 하고 있거든요.
지금 알파고의 시간을 한번 잘 보시면요. 지금 30초가 넘어가고 있는데
네.
근데 진짜 두 번째 수를 너무 생각을 하네.
네.
I was a bit nervous. It's the first time that I sit in front of a world-class Go player. And I actually can feel the spirit and courtesy of a great Go player like Lee Saito. Because I think it is the first time he faced a strange opponent. I think it's not a human, has no emotion, it's cold, but he stayed very calm. And I can feel his mental strength.
들여다봤어요.
이야.
놀랄만한 수죠.
오늘 바둑에서 처음으로 알파고가 독특한 수가 나온 거예요. 사람같이 두려고 그러네? 이런 느낌인 겁니다.
I'm Andrew Jackson. With me here is Myung-won Kim, 9-dan pro from the Korean Baduk Association. We are here live at the Four Seasons Hotel on the 21st floor. What are we looking at? How's the game going?
Oh, it's fighting, from the beginning.
From the very beginning?
AlphaGo plays very well.
Yeah?
Just like a top professional.
Just like a top professional?
Yeah, it's very aggressive.
맞았어요? 끊으면 어떡하죠?
아니 근데 이게 끊겠죠 설마?
Now the fight is getting really complicated. This is actually the first time I've seen AlphaGo playing a game that has this difficult a fight.
이세돌 구단이 이거 약간 흔들릴 수 있겠습니다. 알파고는 당연히 1분에서 1분 30초는 쓰는 거예요, 무조건. 확실히 이런 부분은 사람에 가깝진 않네요. 자기가 고심해봐야 소용이 없어요. 상대는 무조건 다 한다듯이 빨리 둬요.
I just saw him looking at his opponent's face, and that's just a kind of a habit.
It's just an instinct as a player to look at the person across the board.
It's sort of like something that Lee Sedol would do when he was wondering how his opponent was feeling.
Right.
It's just a habit. So it's not as if Aja Huang is going to do any giveaway, because Aja Huang isn't AlphaGo, right?
왔다 갔는데 지금 이세돌 구단이 잠깐 미소를 지었거든요.
지금은 이건
착각이었던 것 같아요.
아니요, 말도 안 되는 소리 들 뻔했잖아요, 지금.
지금 여기 왔다 갔거든요.
지금 뭐 하는 거예요, 지금? 아니 거기 두면 오늘 졌어요, 이거도. 지금 여기를 두려고 하다가 이게 그냥 손이 아무 생각 없이 들어갔어.
워낙 생각이 많다 보니까.
아니 지금 힘들어요, 굉장히. 그러니까 당황했어요, 약간. 이것이 저희가 이제 가장 두려워하는 건데.
네. 흔들린다라는
흔들린다.
With human, when you play, you can have exchange by feeling. I look in you, I know, okay, maybe you won't talk with me. Maybe you fear about me. I can feel many, many things. But AlphaGo, you can feel nothing. So when you can feel nothing when you play, you have more and more question about yourself. For beginning, you think, okay, my move is good, and really good, really good. Oh, maybe bad. Oh, terrible. Why do I play here? More and more.
It's hard to know where to be. All the different rooms are like exciting in different ways. Quite nice to be here at the heart of the operation.
Yeah, I feel safe here.
White's thinking of doing this huge invasion here from its thick wall. Yes, go for it.
It's done it. It's gone in.
Look at his face, look at his face.
That is not a confident face. He's pretty horrified by that.
I can't believe what I see right now. Really. She thought, she's a little bit behind, and she made a very aggressive move here.
Okay.
And make it very complicated.
Okay.
I think Isidore, if he doesn't respond correctly, then he can collapse. I mean, this one is kind of unthinkable as a human Go player. What if she knows everything about what's going to happen next?
Where are we? Here's our search tab. Searching 50 or 60 moves ahead.
That's the maximum number of moves ahead that AlphaGo is looking from the current game position. It's typically over 50, it's often over 60.
In the games we see, often around move 150, AlphaGo goes for the kill. We're move 115 now, so we're getting to that critical point.
We are all astonished just in the middle of the game because AlphaGo seems to be doing a much better job than we all thought it would. I thought Diciptakan would be leading the game comfortably, but it turned out that he's struggling at the moment. But I think eventually he will prevail, I hope. I was, more 5-0, but now I'm not sure about that.
이게 뭐야? 알파고 실수했습니다. 알파고 실수했습니다. 야, 세상에 이런 실수를 당하네.
There might be the first mistake, kind of clear mistake that White made.
가끔 가다가 지금 어느 순간부터 약간 실수를 해주는데 끝내기 위해서. 근데 끝났는데 알파고가 만약에 이겼다, 조금이라도. 그러면 알파고는 이길 만큼만 둔 거라고 볼 수도 있어요, 사실은. 아까 사실 제가 하다가 말을 멈춘 게 계산을 했는데 이상하게 알파고가 조금 좋은 것 같아가지고 제가 진짠가 해가지고 믿어지지가 않아가지고 그런데
사람이 볼 때 실수 같지만 얘는 계산해서 보기 때문에 그게 실수가 아니라고 그랬어요.
그렇죠. 예, 그렇죠. 그러니까 그게 진짜 계산된 걸로 그렇게 간다면 너무 무섭죠. 그냥 입장에서는 갖고 노는 거니까 지금 사람을 갖고 노는 거니까 완전히.
Myungwon, it looks like you've got a count.
Yeah, right.
What do you think?
Done.
Yeah.
Yeah, Black White won a lot this time. You check this.
If it's like this, White has won by a lot.
Yeah.
둘, 셋, 넷. 이거 내가 진짜 믿어지겠네. 29, 30, 33, 34, 35, 36, 71. 졌어요.
Wow, it's so shocking. I expected AlphaGo to win only one game.
진짜.
I can feel his pain. Like he couldn't believe. He couldn't accept it. It takes time for him to accept the outcome.
Maybe AlphaGo is very strong now, but he don't want believe he will lose. It's just the Go popular player. We can't believe this Because for us, it's something very, very far. It's not can be coming now. It's impossible. But in reality, it's now.
I think he resigned in a very polite way. This idol, he is black, but he put a white stone.
I think he resigned.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, the time has stopped.
Yeah.
Wow.
I feel really good. I feel like I really believe in AlphaGo. Of course, it's natural that humans want humans to win. I mean, I think that's a natural response. But AlphaGo is human created, and I think that's the ultimate sign of human ingenuity and cleverness. Everything that AlphaGo does, it does because a human has either created the data that it learns from, created the learning algorithm that learns from that data, created the search algorithm. All of these things have come from humans. So really, this is a human endeavor.
In the battle between man versus machine, a computer just came out the victor.
DeepMind put its computer program to the test against one of the brightest minds in the world and won.
AlphaGo beat a professional player who has 18 Go World Championships under his belt. The victory is considered a breakthrough in artificial intelligence.
예. 일단 너무 놀랬고요. 사실 뭐 진다고 생각을 안 했는데 이렇게 너무 놀랬고. 예. 일단 오늘 바둑 쪽으로 얘기를 하자면은 초반에 실패가 끝까지 이어지지 않았나 싶고요. 물론 초반에 나쁠 때도 질 줄 몰랐습니다. 이렇게 완벽하게 바둑을 둘 줄 몰라가지고요. 정말 놀랬고 저는 여러 번의 세계대회 우승 경험도 있고 또 실전 경험 자체가 많이 틀리기 때문에 뭐 일구 걸렸다고 해서 제가 뭐 크게 흔들리거나 이런 것은 좀 없지 않을까 생각하고요. 제 그 느낌을 정확히 말씀드리면 이제 5대5가 아닌가 생각을 합니다. 저는 다른 이렇게 프로그램을 이렇게 알파고를 만든 이 두 분 또 나머지 프로그래머들께도 정말 깊은 존경심을 전하겠습니다.
In research, we normally work to produce an academic paper. It gets published, and maybe we get to talk about it in a conference if we're lucky. This is not normal for research. In fact, I've never experienced any media attention remotely close to this. So it's a special moment for us all, and we're just enjoying it while it lasts.
In a matchup between man and machine, who wins? Well, so far, it's the machine. In Seoul, South Korea, the artificially intelligent computer defeated the global champion in the ancient Chinese board game Go. Lee Si-dol lost the first matchup, but he's got 4 more chances.
지금 이 사람들이 여기 그 이세돌하고 바둑 하는 사람들이거든요. 바둑 보고 있어요.
Oh, we are not responsible. It's just the man in the beach.
Sorry.
It is a bit strange being the front cover and everything as a computer scientist. Normally, you sit there in your corner, you code, nobody really knows about it.
Perhaps heard the joke, how can you tell that a computer scientist is an extrovert and not an introvert? If he's an extrovert, he looks at your shoes when he's talking to you instead of at his own.
Like, if you look at Aja, he avoids all the cameras like crazy. He's like, the game is finished, and he's like out the back and back in his room. And I think a lot of computer scientists would be like that. We were more about doing our work than standing in the spotlight.
Hello and welcome to Game 2, Round 2 in the Google DeepMind Challenge throwdown between man and machine. Game 1, the machine takes down man. Huge shock. Headlines around the world.
The reactions on the ground here from the folks in Korea were just stunned. They estimate 60 million people watched the game in China alone. It's probably bringing up to maybe 80 million people watch this game worldwide. It was just incredible. And if anything, today is probably even more of a madhouse. So Isedal knows today. He knows that this is just a really important game, right? He's got to win.
표정을 보니 어떤가요? 좀 긴장한 모습이 보이나요?
네, 아주 긴장을 많이 한 것 같고요. 어제 좀 잠을 설친 것 같습니다.
Isidol on white, I think probably looking for a little payback.
My impression is that maybe he underestimated AlphaGo and he's going to change his tactics.
Yeah, but Lee's definitely playing much slower today, which is kind of affect us. He's playing at half the speed, actually.
서로가 뭐 이렇게 재밌다, 누가 좋다 이렇게 얘기하기는 힘들 것 같습니다. 나왔던 두 수를 보면은 알파고가 굉장히 또 약한 느낌이 드는데
이런 거에 또 방심을 하면 안 되거든요.
네, 뭐
네,
저도
어렵네요.
감이 지금 안 잡히는데요.
Well, if I say anything about AlphaGo that is not normal, is maybe the way it handles a game when it thinks it is ahead.
Yes, we're actually going to have a visit from one of the team, and we'll talk about exactly that point from the inside. Thanks so much for coming by, Thor. I really appreciate it. Can you sort of share a bit of what is going on in AlphaGo?
So AlphaGo has these three main components. There's the policy network, which was trained on high-level games to imitate those players. And then we have a second component. We call this the value net. And it can evaluate the board position and say what is the probability of winning in this particular position. And the third component is the tree search, where it would look through different variations of the game and try to figure out what will happen in the future. So if we now take a position like this, first the policy network would scan the position and come up with what would be the interesting spots to play. And it builds up a tree of variations, and it then employs this value net that tells it how promising is the outcome of this particular variation. So AlphaGo tries to maximize its probability of winning, but it doesn't care at all about the margin by which it wins.
Okay, so when you see a slow-looking move, that's maybe an indication that AlphaGo thinks it has a good chance to win.
Yeah, that is a little giveaway.
Well, tell. We're looking for a tell.
전혀 평소에 두던 깊은 좀 다르게 두고 있어요. 그리고 또 이런 역사적인 그런 중요한데 그걸 최초로 벌이는 그런 주인공의 입장에서 부담이 많이 될 텐데 그런 부담감을 떨쳐버리고 본인이 좀 즐겼으면 좋겠어요.
Ooh, looks like Lee is taking a little bit of a break.
Isedal go to smoke, and AlphaGo just play. It don't think about the opponent will be there or not. So Ajab sees AlphaGo plays the move 37, and Ajab puts the stone in the board.
와, 정말 생각지도 못한.
Value.
That's a very surprising move.
I thought it was a mistake.
When I see this move, for me it's just the big shock. What? Normally human will never play this one because it's bad. It's just bad. We don't know why. It's bad.
But it's a little bit high.
Yeah.
It's fifth line. Normally you don't make a shoulder hit on the fifth line.
So coming on top of a fourth line stone is really unusual.
Yeah, that's an exciting move. I think we've seen an original move here. That's the kind of move that you play Go for.
Hey.
Interesting stuff.
This fifth line shoulder hit was.
I wasn't expecting that. I don't really know if it's a good or bad move at this point.
The professional commentators almost unanimously said that not a single human player would have chosen move 37. So I actually had to poke around in AlphaGo to see what AlphaGo thought. And AlphaGo actually agreed with that assessment. AlphaGo said there was a 1 in 10,000 probability that move 37 would have been played by a human player. So it knew that this was an extremely unlikely move. It went beyond its human guide and it came up with something new and creative and different.
I am very much watching the game through these commentators. That's the way it works. So when they're confused, I'm certainly confused. At the same time, I'm latching on to the fact that they are confused, right? That is an interesting moment. When everyone else is confused, who's not confused, right? Besides the machine.
I want to see Lee Sedol when he sees this move.
He's back, Lee is back.
알파고는 기실은 뭐 확률적 계산을 하고 그냥 이기기 위한 그런 머신에 불과하다고 생각을 했었는데 그 수를 보는 순간 아니구나. 충분히 알파고도 창의적이다. 정말 아름답고 바둑의 그런 아름다움을 잘 표현한 수고 굉장히 창의적인 수였다.
Normally he think about 1-2 minutes, no more. But this time, he think more than 12 minutes. The more I see this move, I feel something changed. Maybe for human we think it's bad, but for AlphaGo, why not?
Go is like geopolitics, like something small that happens here can have a ripple effect, hours down the road in a different part of the board. The game kind of turned on its axis at that moment.
This move is very special because with this move, all the stone play before is work together. It's connect. It looks like a network, link everywhere. It's very special, very special.
다시 한번 생각해보는 측면이 됐다는 게 그것이 포인트가 아니었나 싶은데 바둑에 있어서 창의성이라는 건 도대체 무엇인가? 이런 또 의문. 하여튼 굉장히 의미 있는 수가 아니었나.
This is a tough game for Lee Sedol. AlphaGo is just not letting Lee Sedol do what he wants.
Right.
Black has almost 60 points. Oh, that's a lot.
That's not a good sign. Lee Sedol just slapped himself on the side of the head.
Oh, wow.
I think Black's ahead at this point.
It's looking good, isn't it? We're on that steady path now.
I just see Lee Sedol. He lose so much. Normally we resent before a long time ago, but he won't try. He play. He just don't want to resign.
Because then White, he resigned. It looks like Lee Sedol has just resigned.
Is he okay? I brought his friend because yesterday I noticed that he really wanted to analyze the game.
There was this heavy sadness over that whole floor. And you could feel it during the game. I felt it during the game. And I'm leaving the commentary room to go to the press conference, and I was stopped by someone, another technology reporter. And now, at first, all he wanted to talk about was the technology and how great this was. But then even he kind of slipped into this moment of melancholy where he was upset as well.
놀란 건 어제로 충분히 놀랐고요. 이제 할 말이 없을 정도가 아닌가 싶습니다.
I am quite speechless. I admit that it was a very clear loss on my part. From the very beginning of the game, that was not a moment in time that I felt that I was leading the game.
You feel elated and you feel a little bit scared. There is something, I think, frightening to people about a machine that learns on its own.
For us, AlphaGo is obviously just some computer program. But looking at the commentary on the internet, I already saw the commentators call AlphaGo like he and she during the games, completely unconsciously, which AlphaGo is really a very, very simple program. It's not anywhere close to full AI, and we already see that happening, so I found that very interesting.
The tendency to anthropomorphize AI systems is one of the big obstacles in the way of actually trying to understand how AI might impact the world in the future. For example, the conversation is about what could go wrong, like what the risks are. Then invariably you see this Terminator picture. Every single time there are these red glowing eyes, right?
We're really closer to a smart wash machine than Terminator. If you look at today's AI, we are really very nascent. I'm extremely excited and passionate about AI's potential, but AI is still very limited in its power.
I think that people are right to think that there is a danger that as we continue to improve these systems, that we might miss that threshold where we do cross over into danger. But the good news is that there are already people thinking about those dangers.
You know, there's a lot of talk now, and we're leading the discussions on this, that maybe there should be a kind of cross-industry best practices working group or something, where the leaders of the research teams in those organizations, the big ones that are working on AI, IBM, Microsoft, so on, come together and make sure that AI is used ethically and responsibly.
I think what is important is that there is this community of people who are leading the cutting edge of AI, who are interacting with academics and already are thinking about the long term and how we can ensure that innovation is responsible as the power of these machines gets even greater.
This is it, folks. Day 3, game 3, Liesel, Go Master, back to the wall. He's down 2-0. He's got to win today to keep hope alive.
이세돌 구단이 2국을 지고 난 후에 하루 정도 휴식일이 있었는데 이 동료 후배 기사들과 뭐 언론에도 나왔죠. 밤새 새벽까지 바둑 연구를 했다고 합니다.
I heard that 4Pros went to visit him to console him and to review AlphaGo's.
Console him? Do you think he's upset, or
I mean Isidore's upset. Yeah.
In the beginning, there was a fierceful fight, and then AlphaGo played very well, so he secured a very early lead. From move 50, the win rate was very high already, and it was climbing toward 100%.
Oh, that's a great move.
What's your probability rate?
I'll tell you what it means.
Now, 70.
The shape move for whites.
지금 본인도 굉장히 이기고 싶을 텐데 자꾸 힘적 부담에 제가 모르게 자꾸 압박감이 더 점점 강해지는 것 같아요. 특히 오늘은 가장 심할 걸로 판단하고 있어요. 제 개인적인 생각으로는 게임이라는 게 막 이기려고 하면 질 수 있는 게 게임이니까.
He tried to fight directly in the game, but it's not his style. When we change our style to play with opponent, normally it's very, very bad. So is the game more easy for AlphaGo?
It's looking good for us.
Locally, I think it's
That black group is huge and it's got nowhere to go and it's going to be running around.
I don't know how to describe the situation. If I were black, I will resign. We should admit that we are facing the strongest existence ever in the Go history.
There's no point in playing out the end game, and you're gonna lose, right? So.
Even if Black can live there. Oh, he resigned.
Done.
Okay.
Wow. You saw history made here tonight.
AlphaGo has won again, 3 straight wins.
3 straight wins, has won the match.
When Lisa resigned the game, he looked like unhappy. It's not just he lose the tournament. It just is especially about this game because he don't play his game. I'm very hard about this, very. But I can do nothing.
Certainly I feel a bit ambivalent about it, given I'm a games player and, Go is the pinnacle of board games. But I really like the statement one of the top Chinese professionals said of, if AlphaGo wins, maybe we'll really start to get to see what this game's about.
I couldn't celebrate. It was fantastic that we'd won, but there was such a big part of me that saw this man trying so hard and being so disappointed.
I see internet, many people are talking about the Diciptakan. Maybe I don't play the best. We are Go player. Okay, sometime in China, in Korea, in Japan, we see Go like art. We are artists, We play our best for Go.
Right.
So please gentle with the Diciptakan.
Right.
He's very good players, great players. I'm in the room, I see this he won't win. He try everything. We can't. Just this. So.
일단 좀 죄송하다는 말씀을 먼저 드려야겠습니다. 좀 더 좋은 모습, 내용이나 또 승패도 그렇고요. 여러 가지 좀 기대를 많이 하셨을 것 같은데 이렇게 좀 무력한 모습을 보이게 돼서 너무 죄송하고요. 이렇게 좀 심한 이렇게 압박감, 부담감을 느낀 적은 없었던 것 같거든요. 그래서 역시 그걸 이겨내기에는 제 능력이 좀 부족하지 않았나 싶습니다. 이것은 믿을 수 없는 그런 상황이었는데 어떤 상대가 있다손 하더라도 3대 0도 아니고 5대 0? 5대 0으로 진다. 이것은 정말 내 자존심에 정말 엄청난 스크래치를 내는 또 사람들이 저를 응원해 주셨던 분들한테 너무 미안하고
이세돌보다는 제가 아는 인간 중에 가장 강한 심장을 갖고 있는 기사로 알고 있는데 그럼에도 불구하고 정말 보이지 않는 실체가 없는 상대와 대결하는 게 얼마나 외롭고 쓸쓸하고 힘든 대결인지 저는 정말 실감을 하고 있습니다. 이제 4국, 5국이 아직 남아 있습니다. 정말 우리가 알고 있는 이세돌 구단 다운 바둑을 보여준다면 기계 이길 수 있다고 생각합니다.
You could see that he was more relaxed after he had lost 3 games in a row. That said, the stakes were still high. In the end, it isn't about pride.
He don't feel like confidence, but I feel light.
Can Lee Sedol find AlphaGo's weakness? Is there, in fact, a weakness?
I was thinking I'd just pull the plug.
You just pull the plug?
Yeah.
Everyone's still cheering for Lee Sedol. And then, it's not going very well.
컨셉은 안정적으로 지금 진행을 하는 거거든요.
근데 안정적으로 뒀을 때 과연 이세돌 구단이 유리한지가
근데 유리할 것 같진 않아요.
유리할 것 같지가 않아서.
It feels pretty good for Black at this point.
It feels pretty good for Black, yes.
I want Lisa to play his game. Because for the moment, he tried many things to play with AlphaGo, to understand AlphaGo, but he never tried to play himself. I talk many times, AlphaGo look like the real mirror. When you play with AlphaGo, you feel very strange. Look like you are all the time naked. The first time you see this, you want to see because, this me real me. And more than more, you need accept. Oh, it's a real me. So how I can do?
It's developing into a very, very dangerous fight. This is really Lee Sedol's type of game. He likes this kind of fight. White has to find something inside Black's territory.
I think he is already planning on trying something.
So you believe in Lee Sedol's ability to live in the very small area, right?
Yes, yes.
There is a little potential there. And I think maybe he's going to try to do something.
He said all magic.
Oh, what would be the magic move?
Lee Sedol, he's running short on time, but he's going to have to use up all his time here.
He's just burned like 7 or 8 minutes just on this move already.
I don't see anything.
We can't find anything.
술을 내보시죠 한번.
저는 못 낼 것 같은데요.
What is Lee Sedol up to here?
Yeah, he's really concentrating.
He really is. Look at that.
Lee Sedol is very patient. He wait this moment. I feel something look like the wolf wait in the forest in the winter. He cold. He feel very, very cold. But I need patience. But the moment coming, he go out to attack.
This is the hinge of the game.
Oh, look at that move. That's an exciting move.
No, basically, I
he found the wedge.
Whoa.
It's going to change the equation because now Black cannot escape.
That would be so cool if that works.
Ooh. AlphaGo has just played something maybe unusual.
You know, I'm not actually sure what AlphaGo is trying to do here.
What's that about?
I don't really understand it.
Well.
That was a sharp drop in win rate.
That's the sharpest drop in win rate we've seen.
You dropped at 8%. Wow.
This could be that it actually can't find a way through. I think this is, it's looked far enough ahead to see that it doesn't work, and now maybe it's on tilt. I don't know.
There comes.
It's like it's
there's a
fallen
VR
off the cliff. Yeah, it's made a mistake.
Yeah.
Did anything strange happen in the...
No, it all looked normal.
Well, there we go. Well, we can definitely say, well, there's a weakness. Well, we definitely say it's a mistake.
I felt this mixture of this sinking feeling in my stomach where I was wondering if AlphaGo was becoming delusional in this situation, where I could see that it was starting to play strangely, and at the same time relief for Lee Sedol that he was actually in with a chance now. I was just like trying not to look horrified.
I knew after move 17, after like 10 or 20 moves, I saw AlphaGo strange moves. And I know AlphaGo somehow became crazy, but I didn't realize why.
Whoa.
When it's playing
We
so
searched to
complicated, Black has played
95 ahead at that point?
This complicated variation indicates that
I
maybe
think there's something went wrong. That's the longest we've searched the entire game, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's like it's searched so deeply it's confused itself.
I do get the impression that AlphaGo has sort of gone off on a tangent.
What are you doing now?
Or maybe it has a master plan.
No, it doesn't even think it has, does it? So it knows it's made a mistake because it starts evaluating it the other way. Look, Lee's confused. I was like, what is it doing? That's not a I'm scared confused. That's a what is it doing?
What's going on?
You know, you asked if it was a bug. I've said before that if DeepMind has figured out how to write code that doesn't have bugs, that is a bigger news story than AlphaGo.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Hmm?
Like this next move we're going to play. I think they're going to laugh. I think Lee's going to laugh.
뭐지? 아니 이거는 뭐지? 렉 걸린 것 같은데?
I don't really know what AlphaGo is trying to do here.
That's the understatement of the year.
Isn't it mouse misclick?
Nope, that's the move. Aja Huang makes no misclicks. Lee Sedol is very confused. These are not human moves.
This move also sort of inexplicable.
I mean, those you can clearly call those mistakes.
Yes, of course.
But it's the first time in the 4 matches that we've seen moves like that.
Right.
Oh, the value dropped even more.
It's weighted. We're like 45%.
White. I think white is winning.
Come on, Lee Sedol.
That's unbelievable.
Right.
I was so confident that this black moya would just be consolidated by black and that there was nothing there, and somehow he's just erased it all, like it's gone.
So he's found his weakness. That wedge move probably surprised him.
Yeah, the wedge.
Yeah.
AlphaGo seemed to have such a good game, and then this whole sequence in the center sort of changed that.
He pulls off a miracle. He managed to make it so complicated that the artificial intelligence doesn't evaluate it correctly. I think it looks like Aja Huang, maybe sitting there, also knows that the game is over.
I can't stop smiling. Did he smile?
No, I haven't seen him smile yet. I think he is still
he's
checking.
so serious.
He's so serious. He wants to be careful.
He concerns a lot. He really does his best. I think he feels something like responsibility or burden.
It's almost over. So that's the percentage. Percentage is 18.2. What's the mix of the next two should be resolved. There you go. AlphaGo resigned.
Looks like AlphaGo has resigned.
Wow. The most amazing game. I'm almost going to tear up. Was game 4, where he comes back and wins, right?
제 알파고의 패배의 순간 사람들이 한호를 했다라는 얘기를 들었는데 그 이유는 명확하죠. 약간의 무력감, 두려움. 아 정말 이렇게 우리 인간 나약한 존재였나. 제가 이김으로써 정말 아직은 지켜냈다고 생각이 드는 그런 순간이었을 수 있고 이제는 앞으로 인공지능을 이기긴 정말 힘들어지겠지만은 그래도 그 한 판을 이김으로써 아 충분하다. 이것으로 충분하다.
I heard from so many people saying, they were running out in the street. They were so happy. They were chanting, they were celebrating.
Especially after the 0-3 down, at the time it seems to be hopeless that the end of the world is coming, but we see the light.
Usually, I'm happy when I win, not like my colleague wins. But this time, it felt like my win.
얘가 생각한 대로 좀 싫어가지고 근데 이쪽 진짜 일정에 막 이런 데 끼우는 거만 생각 못 하다가 한판은 이겼네. 아 정말 이 정도일 거라고는 정말 생각도 못했어. 아 정말 믿을 수가 없었어. 믿을 수가 없어서 이거는 진짜. 예 감사합니다. 지금 한 판을 이겼는데 이렇게 축하를 받아본 건 또 처음인 것 같습니다. 이렇게 3연패를 당하고 1승을 하니까 이렇게 기쁠 수가 없습니다. 이 1승은 정말 그 전에 모았고 앞으로도 바꾸지 않을 정말 값어치로 매길 수 없는 그런 1승이 아닌가.
My question is about number 78 move. Chinese top Go player Gu Li said it was a God's play. What were you thinking when you made that play? Thank you.
그 수를 둔 이유는 그 수뿐이 없었습니다. 그 장면에서. 다른 수는 아무리 찾으려고 해도 보이지가 않아가지고 어쩔 수 없었던 한 수였는데 그렇게 칭찬을 받아서 좀 오히려 좀 어리둥절합니다.
Does leave me a little bit in awe of the human brain's power, in particular Lee's amazing ability to cause AlphaGo problems and find something seemingly out of nothing. And so we really want to understand what had happened.
So it really was Lee's move. That's the key is the center. If the center go on, then it's no chance. No, we were winning before this. But if AlphaGo thought it was winning and it couldn't convert that win, that means it wasn't actually winning. Like, otherwise, it would have had the right responses.
Would we have played it?
There's a steal in there.
What probability does it give it as white?
0.007% of everything.
Is that in the position that he played?
That's when he played it.
I see.
So we thought this was the one in
And
front
also
of
like
yeah.
the value is really low.
So the God move was literally a God move because we believe that only 1 in 10,000 humans would have found that move.
That's right.
It doesn't come to mind as the top 5 in the top 5 moves that you would consider.
Unless you're Diciptakan, he said it was the only one.
And he thought it was the only one, yeah. Remarkable, isn't it?
Welcome back to the Four Seasons. World champion Lee Sedol went looking for AlphaGo's weakness in Game 4, and he found it. Today, last round, he's looking to see if he can repeat that. We'll see what happens.
The place is a madhouse downstairs. Maybe as many, if not more, journalists here today than there were for Game 1.
We all were really excited for the 5th match to see what would happen. Was this going to be a 3-2 thing, or was it going to be a 4-1 thing? And, you know, there's a different message with both of those.
For me, I don't think AlphaGo will make the mistake again. But who knows? Maybe it will coming. And the Diciptakan have more confidence about this. Look like maybe Diciptakan finds the key to open the AlphaGo.
오, 이거 돼요.
그러면 알파고가 착각을 했다 그럴 수도 있다 이거죠.
기대하셔도 좋을 것 같습니다.
You weren't crazy about the timing on this move.
Yeah.
And now you don't approve of this.
Yeah, I'm sort of thinking that maybe AlphaGo hasn't recovered from Game 4 yet. Yeah.
Still
so
deleted?
White has to do something about this idea. After
Oh no, I hope he doesn't play. No, it needs to play that.
Him play some move is bad move. I feel something, oh, maybe the weakness come back again.
Are we seeing another short circuit, or is there something,
I think it could be a kind of a misreading.
And you're pretty comfortable with saying that you're
looking good for Lee Sedol?
Good for Lee Sedol.
There's no reason for White to be playing that move. It's a bad move, and in some cases, it's going to lose a point too. It is exactly the same thing.
91% certain now.
Someone was telling me that maybe it had more to do with neural networks, which I think.
The whole game, we thought that AlphaGo was wrong about the board position. We were super worried that, oh, it's going to play garbage, it's going to be like lose in a very embarrassing way. And this continued for the whole game. But this is a bit weird.
When did they play that?
Just now. So I don't know. I mean, it doesn't.
Well, that we don't know, but we're not good enough Go players to know that, right?
Yeah. As it turned out, none of us know Go well enough to accurately judge what AlphaGo is doing.
But White is winning now.
This one looks like White is winning.
We all say some of AlphaGo moves are so weird and strange and maybe mistakes. But after a game is finished, we have to doubt ourselves, our judgment.
AlphaGo making another kind of nonsensical throw-in. We're not really sure what that's about.
This is what 10 or maybe 11 dot play looks like. It looks weird, and we don't quite understand it.
I think it is important to study more about AlphaGo's mistake-like moves. Then maybe we can adjust our knowledge about Go.
To me, the most amazing thing to come out of my understanding of Go as a result of watching AlphaGo play are the infamous slack moves.
Well, there's something strange about the way it's playing because it's playing some moves that are not really necessary.
Right.
A slack move is a move that looks lazy. You can see these other better moves, and AlphaGo is rejecting them. But what I think AlphaGo is teaching us is that we've been using score as a proxy for chance of winning. So the bigger my margin of territory, the more confident I am that I'm going to win. And AlphaGo is saying, no, it shouldn't matter how much you win by. You only need to win by a single point. Why should I be seizing all this extra territory when I don't need it? The lessons that AlphaGo is teaching us are going to influence how Go is played for the next 1,000 years.
Am I counting? Why won this game?
By how much? Are we talking 2 points?
1.5.
1.5 points.
1.5. Maybe half. 1.5.
Of course, Go is just a game, but we can learn important lessons from a computer being so successful at Go. Machines will have the capability not only to crunch through huge amounts of data, but also to analyze it intelligently. Just as in the case of the Go games, the machine made moves that surprised even the experts. And eventually the machines will gain our confidence because we will see that very, very often they make a better guess than we could have made as humans.
기본기가 잘 돼 있네요.
굉장히 놀라운 점은 우리가 생각했던 바둑에 있어서 창의성도 결국은 어느 정도의 틀 안에 있지 않았었나. 바둑계에 상당한 변화를 줄 수 있는 그런 생각이 들고.
와, 그걸로도 이겼어?
그걸로도 이겼으면은 참 불편하네요.
Unfortunately for Lee Sedol, I think White might have a slight advantage here. Black hasn't played this, but if we count it like that, it's 4 points.
He was saying one result. How do you know the Korean ones called it first?
Someone, who told us?
Someone, I don't know.
Korean, Korean
Was
the
it
Korean
Korean?
room has called it for AlphaGo. I would just like to know if there's someone Korean in there to find out.
Korean room think AlphaGo is winning.
Winning, okay, not won.
That's what she said.
Winning.
She said they called it. Okay. AlphaGo's saying it's going to resign. I'm not only joking.
Jesus, that was a That was very good.
Well played. Well played.
No, not really.
I couldn't do it too long. That's all good places. I just couldn't make that. You've been waiting 2 years to do that.
Well, we don't know the score. Yeah, we have no idea what's going on, right?
10 points.
두 집반은 확실히 져 있습니다.
The fighting in the center was very hard to. It's very hard to.
아, 돌을 포기할 것 같이 지금
네, 돌통을 한번
돌통으로
만졌죠.
지금 만지고 있거든요.
After this, well, except for the. Is that what?
That's kind of a different debate. It's just computer program sometimes too. I would like to sort of weed that out.
포기할 것 같습니다. 여기까지입니다. 여기까지입니다. 여러분.
네.
여기까지입니다. 예.
But as the program is let's find out why.
I mean, I think it's just really is a once in a lifetime thing. I would say it's the most amazing thing, I've experienced. You know, for us, it's the culmination of a 20-year dream.
It started as a pure research endeavor. We just wanted to understand, can neural networks play the game of Go? And from there, it went on to a level that I never expected. And I'm unbelievably proud of the team.
When I started doing artificial intelligence, it was 4 or 5 years ago, and I was really interested in that, but like many people would discourage me and they would say, okay, there is no future. So actually seeing that within 5 years we are at this stage right now, it's amazing by itself.
Everybody say
There are so many possible application domains where creativity in a different dimension to what humans could do could be immensely valuable to us. And I'd just love to have more of those moments where we look back and say, yeah, that was just like Move 37. Something beautiful occurred there.
At least in a broad sense, Move 37 begat Move 78, begat a new attitude at Lee Sedol, a new way of seeing the game. He improved through this machine. His humanness was expanded after playing this inanimate creation. And the hope is that that machine, and in particular the technologies behind it, can have the same effect with all of us.
I remember hearing a talk by Kasparov, who says that a good human plus a machine is the best combination.
This is a unique experience. Nobody can have this experience. Play with AlphaGo 5 game look like this. So I hope listener can find something in this 5 game, maybe some change in his game. I see today he fight. It's very good. Big master, real big master.
이번 경험을 통해서 조금 더 성숙했다고 생각하기 때문에 그걸 정리 잘해서 앞으로 또 발전할 수 있도록 하겠습니다. 정말 내 바둑 두는 이유를 찾았다라는 느낌, 사람들이 이렇게 해줬을 때 그런 느낌? 정말 더 나아가자면 정말 바둑 잘했구나 그런 생각이 들 정도로 정말 저한테는 그 순간도 잊지 못할 것 같은 정말 그런 경험이었습니다.
Is this even is done? But for all the story, maybe it's just a beginning. We don't know. It's just when I play with AlphaGo, he showed me something. I feel beautiful. Just it. I see the world different before everything began. What is real thing inside the Go game? With this thing, I will change something with my game. Maybe he just can show humans something we never discovered. Maybe it's beautiful.